Look, I know that tactic has far too many playmakers, but they're all playmakers. I don't know what to do. I think I've got to that point where the players in my team are all too technically good, and I don't know what to do. I just want to instruct them to just sort of pack the midfield and lump the ball forward for good strikers to score from. It just feels right to me. Hello and welcome to Season 15, Episode 2 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we have our first Champions League game of the season away against Juventus, and we're at home to Leicester in the Premier League, and my hair is a mess because it's Sunday morning. I've just got up, and I realised I forgot to do today's episode, so please forgive me that. I could put on an Evolve hat. Remember that brilliant game from the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 from last year? I've got a hat for it. It wasn't a brilliant game, which is why I'm not wearing the hat. I don't remember why I have the hat, but I have it. I might put the hat on. Maybe the hat, if we beat Juventus, I'll wear the hat for the Leicester game. There you go. There's a treat for you. So, since you were last with me, you should be used to this by now. Mixed form. I can't even remember if we beat Arsenal or not in this. I think we beat Arsenal on penalties to win the UEFA Super Cup. But it's not actually clear from there, is it? And it was so insignificant to me, I don't remember. Did we win? Who won? We won. There you go. We won the UEFA Super Cup. We really care about that, obviously. But then we lost away to Tottenham in the league, beat Liverpool 4-0 at home, but then drew 1-1 away at Reading and beat West Ham 2-0 away, which puts us, after 5 Premier League games, we're in 5th place, on 10 points, 5 points behind Chelsea, who are top of the league, and I'm probably going to get sacked any time now, because we all have to remember last season, I think it was last season or maybe the season before, Pep Guardiola was sacked at the end of October, with Man City in 6th place in the Premier League. So we're now mid-September and 5th. We have to put a run of wins together, and quick. There's been loads of feedback from you in the comments from yesterday's episode, mainly about the tactic, after you got over the fact that I've joined Man City. But yeah, the tactic, I'm not particularly over the moon with this tactic, but the players that we've got, they're really, really good players. I just don't see a logical way to put them together into a normal formation. I've taken on board the feedback that we had 4 playmakers in this area of the pitch, with the wide playmaker, deep line playmaker. He was a register and he was an advanced playmaker. And yeah, we've got a little diamond of playmakers trying to create stuff for just these two, with no one actually working hard in the midfield. I've tweaked it today for Juventus. We've not done this tweak yet, so it might all go badly wrong. My ideal thing would be to change this guy to a box-to-box midfielder, but Nathan Wilkes can't really do it. So I've just stuck everyone onto the position that they're best suited to. So that means Lewis Bradford becomes an anchorman, because that's his best, apart from deep line playmaker, but he can't be a deep line playmaker. We've covered that. And then Gilberto likes to be an attacking midfielder, so he can be an attacking midfielder. These two, being a playmaker is all they can really do. So we'll see how this works today. Hopefully it's going to mean Bradford is covering the back four a lot more than he was previously, and Gilberto will get up there with João Roberto a little bit more. I am tempted to just make him a trequartista, because we used to play him with a trequartista at Ipswich. The only problem is that's effectively another playmaker, isn't it? And I think long term, once I start to mould this squad into my own image, if we stick with this formation, this guy needs to become a trequartista. This should be a box-to-box midfielder, a wide midfielder there, and then maybe we can go back to the register at the back. Obviously, the big problem with that is I've just spent £50 million on Nathan Wilkes, who doesn't really fit into that ideal for how we want to play. So he needs to learn to play box-to-box midfielder, and fast. So we're away against Juventus. I have been training a counter-attacking version of this tactic, which is that it's still got the old positions on there, so we'll just switch that as well. So he becomes a register, he becomes an attacking midfielder. So basically it just involves dropping Ayrton back into midfield, and doing that. So that is an option, but we're only competent with that one at the moment. So we're going to go away to Juventus and just try and beat them. We're going to go with the attacking system. It's not really working away from home yet. But we've got to give it a go, because I'm an idiot. And let's face it, if I get sacked, I'm on a 3-year contract here, that's another big payoff. I could basically retire at that point with my payoffs from Ipswich and Man City, and that would amuse me. So This is the team that... Oh, I haven't told you my team. We've gone... I'll tell you what. I'll do it on this next screen. So, we've got Donnarumma in goal, which apparently he's a real player. I've been told plays for AC Milan in real life, I think. Is that the one? See, I know nothing about anything outside of League One. There you go. Look, he plays for AC Milan in real life. Who'd have thought? Then a back four of Merteza, Martelli, Osborne and Medane. And I think someone said this guy was a real player as well. Martelli, no, he's a regen. It must be someone else. Someone plays for Ajax at the moment, and I forget who it was. And then in midfield, we've got Bradford behind them, Putu and Wilkes, and then Gilberto and Ayrton supporting João Roberto. Again, in time, if this stupid formation doesn't work, I'm thinking of just shifting those three across, these three across, stop doing this asymmetric nonsense, and play with a defensive midfielder behind a normal central midfield too, and then have two wide players supporting João Roberto. But this is kind of the big test for us today. If we can go to Juventus and do well with this system, we'll persist with it. If we go to Juventus today and get absolutely battered, I think it might be time to switch to a normal 4-5-1 before it's too late and we end up getting sacked. Because I don't want to get sacked, but Man City are a little trigger happy with their managers. The only manager in the whole 15 years of this save who's been at the club for more than 2 years was Jose Mourinho, who was there for 6 seasons, retired at Man City, having won the Premier League 2 or 3 times, the Champions League twice. They kind of have high expectations for their manager. Ayrton should have done better there, but Osborne comes across to cover. We're not really dominating possession the way I would like to be. Okay, Bradford intercepts and Martelli clears to Gilberto. It's very deep, but he's so deep he couldn't find Roberto, which again, it's probably the fault of the system because he had to come so deep because Bradford was deep behind him and there was no one in his way. But it left him miles from Roberto. But that time it worked perfectly because Gilberto picked the ball up, floating around behind João Roberto, and João Roberto. Already, I think he might be the best striker I've managed in this save. And bearing in mind some of the players we've had up front in the past, this guy is just clinical. He is a machine. And this was an excellent finish. Remember, we're away against Juventus here. So, Gilberto, the ball over the top. I mean, this is an Ipswich goal, isn't it? Ball over the top. Fast striker runs onto it and just levers it into the far corner. That could easily have been Johnny Vaughan playing the ball over the top to Christian Aaron. It looked like that kind of goal. Which probably isn't the type of football Man City were hoping for when I arrived. But, you know, what did they expect? They've seen Ipswich play for the last few years. Osborne really far forward there. That was a bit weird. He's our centre-back. And now Putu finds Wilkes. And Putu just isn't really getting in the game in the position he's playing. But Gilberto has put João Roberto through again. And this time we have a penalty and surely their defender gets sent off here. Hey, here we go. Look, all that talk before the game about, oh, is it going to work? It looks like it's working at the moment. João Roberto puts it away. We're 2-0 up. Juventus are playing their own odd version of an asymmetric system now because they're playing a 4-3-1-1 with a left winger but no right winger. But that was all set up by Gilberto again. He's actually seems to be getting in the game more than when he was playing as an advanced playmaker. The attacking midfielder role just seems to suit him, and bizarrely, it's led to him playing 2 really good through balls to João Roberto, which I don't really understand because surely he should be doing that more as an advanced playmaker. But there you go. They've gone to a more normal-looking system now, Juventus, with the 3 central midfielders. My big concern is in this system, Putu, who's the wide playmaker on the left, just doesn't really get into the game because we've got an attacking left-back in Merteza. And Putu just sort of has him running past him to create the width. What I might instruct him to do is just sit a little bit narrower and try and occupy that space behind Gilberto. In fact, we're going to do that now because we haven't got any individual player instructions on at the moment. But if we go on to Putu and say to him, oh, he's already on sit narrower. Okay, that's not ideal. I mean, that seems to be the position most in need of change at the moment. I don't think the wide playmaker, when we're playing with an attacking fullback, is really getting much done when he's got Gilberto in front of him and Wilkes to the side of him. We could probably utilise him a little better elsewhere on the pitch. Right. I mean, Putu can play in central midfield. He could easily become another central midfielder. But then the problem is Gilberto can't play wide. So we need a system that plays with an attacking midfield player because Gilberto is one of the best players at the club. I I think we're going to switch to the counter-attacking version of this system at this point, just because we're 2-1 up. We've got half an hour to go. Juventus are really getting back into this game, and we don't really want to invite them to do that. We just want to soak up a little bit of this pressure, play proper European football. We were never able to do it with Ipswich because we didn't have the players. But in theory, at Man City, I should have the players at my disposal to do this properly. Right. Gilberto and Bradford are going to come off here. So Andre can come on for Bradford. And see, we haven't really got anyone who can play on the left wing. I'm going to bring Mbolo on for Gilberto and do that. Oh, that didn't work at all, did it? Would that work? Does he like there? And then he can do... hold on. What's going on here? This is what I'm thinking. Just manipulate everyone around a little bit. Why won't you go where I want you to go, Ayrton? There you go. So then Mbolo can be in it. Oh, I like an inside forward. I really like an inside forward. There we go. João Roberto, can you be a complete forward? I don't really like an advanced forward on his own on attack, but it's all he can really do. And can you do no? Well, you can be on support then. And now we can adjust this midfield a little bit more to how we want it to be. So Mputu can be... I see, this is already feeling more like a proper system. And we'll just put these two to automatic because we don't need them to push on ridiculously. I mean, I like this. We want to look for overlap. We don't want to roam from positions. Let's turn all this nonsense off. And just do that. I mean, that looks more like a normal system to me. But the problem is we can't do that with Gilberto on the pitch. So, what do we do with him? Do we go to a 4-2-3-1? It's difficult. This managing a proper club lark, it's hard. Just going to waste time. And we're going to take off Mputu now and bring on Suarez, who can do that box-to-box midfield role very efficiently. And hopefully we're just going to see this game out now. I should probably drop the wide players back a little bit. Oh, they're going to score here, aren't they? Oh, they've hit the post. Right, really do need to drop the wide players back, which isn't going to suit Mbolo at all. Oh, goodness. In fact, we'll leave him as an inside forward, but we'll drop Ayrton back. And we'll make you support. And you can be a winger on support like that. And now you're massively isolated. So shall we just make you a false 9? Why not? Let's do that. Okay, 5 minutes to go. We're still not losing. Remember, we are against 10 men Juventus here, and I am fiddling a lot. This reminds me of when I was at Boston and fiddling constantly. Right, Ayrton beats his man. Can he whip the cross in? He doesn't. Well, he does, but he doesn't get past the first defender. Suarez now getting wide. I don't really know what he was trying to do there. We'll go to contain for the last couple of minutes, and hopefully we're going to pick up a really important win against Juventus. Wilkes with the header on. Right, but oh, look, we're passing the ball around really nicely here now. João Roberto, what's he going to do with it? Nothing at all, because the final whistle has gone. We've won 2-1, and I think that means for the Leicester game, I need to go and find a hat. So it turns out it wasn't an Evolve hat at all. It was a Hearthstone hat, which is much cooler because Hearthstone was a good game. As you can see, it's still got the barcode on it under the peak, which I think is how the kids wear it these days. They leave the barcode on. So I'm going to leave the barcode on because, see, back in my day, you'd curve the peak of a baseball cap. These days, you keep it straight. Fashions and changing and stuff. So, team we're going to play against Leicester. Very little change needs to be made from the team we played against Juventus, really. It's just all about keeping people a little bit fresh. So, Sabri Medane, who is struggling a little bit, as are a lot of the back four, but he's the old man and the one who's most easy to replace. So, we bring Rodrigo Guerra into play at centre-back and just move Ron Osborne out to right-back. The rest of the team remains unchanged. I'm starting to see why the assistant manager recommended this system, because I have sat there for 10 minutes trying to work out how to accommodate Gilberto into a 4-5-1 or a 4-3-3. And you can't do it. You have to play João Roberto up front, and then Ayrton wide, and then Gilberto on the left-hand side as an advanced playmaker. And if you do that, it doesn't make any sense to put Umputu behind him. You stick him out there as a wide playmaker. Wilkes stays where he would be in either system, and Bradford just nudges to the left slightly to fill this gap here. It kind of makes sense. What doesn't make sense is pushing Merteza on. So what I might do with him is just make him support, and then make... I mean, normally it's going to be Medane there. Osborne probably isn't the best example of it because he's a centre-back playing out at right-back. But I guess we do that and push him into the gap there. And that might be a little bit more sensible, maybe. So we'll try that today against Leicester. Lewis Bradford, captain for today. Oh, that's where it all began. When I was at Exeter 10 seasons ago, whenever it was, hands up if you actually thought Lewis Bradford would end up being this good. Because I certainly didn't. I assumed he was going to go to Newcastle, spend a few years there, messing around in their reserves and work his way back down the leagues again. I didn't think he'd end up playing 50-plus games for England and captaining Manchester City in the Premier League. But clearly, Exeter should have got more money for him, or whatever idiot agreed to sell the sell-on clause for £1.5 million when he later went on for £35 million to Liverpool or Man City. Or did he go to Liverpool first? I don't even remember. But he ruined Leicester, ruined Exeter, that fella, didn't he? I think he did all right out of it, though, because he bought a load of players that he wanted. And that's the main thing. Poor old Exeter must hate me. But, you know, they agreed to it. They should... Oh, no, that's not good. See, after a good Champions League performance, if we lose at home against Leicester... Let's put the league table back on. My job is under threat if we are hovering around mid-table still in a month's time. We need to be challenging for the title all the way through the season, or else I'm going to get fired. And that doesn't really fit in with the plan that I've got. And I feel like Roberto Mancini is just playing a big joke on me. He's heard some of the comments I've said about him before certain games at certain points, and has retired and left me with a squad that he knows can't be formed into a team. This is why Man City have been a sort of struggling to get into the top four side for the last 2 or 3 seasons, because the players that are here don't gel together into a team properly. It just doesn't work, and that's why he's laughing at me. I don't know, do we put Ayrton up front? And we could conceivably go to the 4-3-1-2 that we used at Ipswich for so many years with Ayrton up front. Can Ayrton play up front? Must be able to play. See, he can't play up front, but looking at him, you'd think he should be able to. It's Ayrton and Gilberto are the problem. We can't accommodate them both, but they're 2 of our best players, and that's hard to. Let me know in the comments, how do you fix that problem? Is there an obvious way to accommodate them both that I'm missing? I've looked through both of them. Neither of them can play anywhere other than the positions we're playing them in, at least not efficiently. So, what do? We have to do this stupid formation, which I don't like. I might just sell them both. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, changes. Gilberto can play up front, I think. So perhaps we make him a complete forward and make João Roberto a poacher. You might recognise where this is going. Ayrton is the problem. Let's take him off. Take him off for... I had Raheem Sterling a couple of games ago. I should have kept him on the bench because he could now come in and play as a trequartista. We'll do Embolo. He can come and do it. So Embolo's going to play there. Does this look familiar to anybody? In fact, these two are supposed to be the other way around, aren't they? So he should be... No, they're not. That was the right way round. And then he becomes a trequartista. See how much of this I can remember. It's so long since I made this tactic. I could just load up the old version of it, but where's the fun in that? It's more fun having to remember how you do it. And then these two... Oh, look at this. Look, this is what everyone was expecting when I arrived. We're going to look for the overlap. We're going to exploit the middle. We're not doing any of this nonsense. And there must be something else that we used to do. Because we had 4 instructions on, and I don't remember what the 4th one was. Did we play out of defence, maybe? That doesn't sound like us. No, we weren't properly direct, were we? It just looked direct when we were doing it. We'll just leave it at that. That looks fine to me. Ah, it was width, wasn't it? We played fairly narrow. There we go. If this works, it's all about to get exciting at Manchester City, and Ayrton's about to get really upset and leave. Right, no, we don't want to see your poxy corner. Right, come on. Let's go and do this Ipswich style. That's what everyone wants. Come on, lads. See, they're accomplished at it. They can do Ipswich style. João Roberto, waste of space. Off you come. See, not afraid to make the big decisions. We need a clear out. We need to get rid of all these overpaid old men. In fact, I'm taking the hat off now. We're losing. The deal was the hat means success. We've not had success. The hat comes off. Right. Oh, we don't have anyone who's any good. In fact, that's the opposite of the real problem. We've got too many players who are too good, and I can't put them together into a team. I mean, look, we're 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go. My solution, change the anchor man around. Got the wrong anchor man in there. That's why we're losing. Oh, look, Ipswich are right on our tails as well. Oh, this isn't good. Right. I think from this moment on, we stop trying to accommodate the superstars and we just play the way I know how to play. Which is all, I mean, it's the opposite of what they always tell you to do. You should build the system around the players that you've got. No, I'm going to use my system, and if the players don't fit, they can do one. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me, subscribe to the channel, because probably next episode I'm going to get sacked, so that'll be fun to watch. And thank you very much for watching. One other thing, see, I was almost going to press the button. Earlier today, there was a Kev versus second yellow card episode. Go and have a look for that, it was good. Thanks for watching.